Hi, I'm Krista Clements-Orlin, your instructor for Serving the Common Good this semester, and this is our first video lecture with me. Today's topic is going to be on reflection, which is actually a topic of the week coming up, but there are a few, there's an activity on reflection and just this information I wanted to give you in advance so that you can prepare for the Reflection and Action Week, since you will be doing a lot of work on journal papers. Submission is due that week, as well as then evaluating papers. And I'll go a little more into that in a bit. But first, I wanted to talk about reflection in general and what it is, why we do it in this class, and exactly how do we utilize reflection in serving the common good. Well, as you learned last week in our service learning versus traditional learning model lecture, service learning, one of the key components is reflection, and that's one of the key things that makes it different from traditional learning. We don't just take course content and memorize it, but we apply it to our life, and we reflect on how we've experienced what we've learned in class in the past, compare that to how we're experiencing that in our service activities with our community partners, and then integrating that together and imagining into the future, how might I use this in the future, whether it's in my work or in my life or with my family or whatever. So that's one of the reasons why just in the design of this course, reflection is huge. For instance, you'll be doing many activities that are reflection based. So for instance, this in itself is a seminar course, which is a discussion based format for learning. So in our on-campus classroom meeting time, we will usually be doing a seminar discussion at some point during that class time, so that you can practice group reflection live and in person with other people. And that's more of a formal, structured way of doing reflection. That's why we're using the Socratic seminar, which there are various roles that everyone fills within the seminar discussion, as a way to help move the group in exploring a topic or a question. So that's one way. And then we also have our online discussions, and there's two types of online discussions that we'll have. Both our small service groups discussions, so that's an area where, since you have common experience with your community partner, it's a way that you can share, bounce ideas off of each other, compare your experiences with people who have the same experience. We also then have the whole class in an online discussion, and that's where we take a kind of more of like a big concept question and unpack it together in text format. This is less structured in that there aren't particular roles that you need to fill like we have in the Socratic seminar discussion on campus. However, with the discussion boards, there is the expectation that you post a response to the question first, and I have those discussions set up that you won't be able to see anyone else's response to the question until after you've posted your initial response. And the reason behind that is that it gives you an opportunity to give an unadulterated response to the question, purely from how you are responding to it, as opposed to looking at what some of your peers may be saying and then saying, oh yeah, that sounds good, that's what I'm going to say too. No, we want to, this way we should get a vast array of responses, as well as something that is a very honest response. Once you've posted that initial response to the class discussion boards, you'll be able, and I think some of the service group discussion boards will be set up that way too. But once you've posted that initial response, then you'll be able to see all of the responses of everyone who has responded up to that point. And then it is your responsibility to respond to at least two or to reply to at least two of those initial responses. It's the best way that we can kind of simulate a discussion in an online format. And there's more details as far as word counts and due dates and all of that in both of your syllabus and in the description for those discussions. One of the big ways that we do reflection in this class is through the writing of journal papers. Now, when I say journal paper, immediately people think of perhaps journals that you write, personal journals that you like write in like a diary. Maybe you've taken a class before that had a journal where you needed to keep a notebook that had daily entries in it. That's not what this is. There are 4 papers, small papers, through the course of the semester that you'll be writing that is a way to chronicle your experiences and your responses to your service experiences in this class. And it's a way to kind of see how you're building upon the experience. You'll be these journal papers, you may use excerpts from them in your e-learning portfolio, which serves as the final presentation for the class. So it's a really handy tool for you in reflection. The Moodle tool that we'll be using to do that reflection is something that's called Moodle Workshop. And it's something that I've never used before, and in fact, I don't think anyone here at Viterbo has used before, because when I asked for a recommendation on a tool for peer evaluation of papers, they said, well, you could use this, but we really haven't used it before, so you have to kind of teach yourself how to use that. So this is what I understand about Moodle Workshop for right now. I actually set it up last night. You will, the first thing is that you need to submit your journal paper, and you need to write that first. So what you can use in the writing of your paper are 2 documents that are posted on Moodle under Course Information and Syllabus. The first one is the Journal Paper Guidelines. And this is just kind of a general outline that if I were writing this paper, I would use it to kind of help me with my paper writing process. It gives you, the first paragraph gives you some basic information about the body of the paper. The first part, we want you to focus on your service experience and or community partner. And you are to share, I think it's 150 words minimum on that. And then the second, or the bulk of the paper then, is more of the reflective, your response to that experience. And that is 250 word minimum. Once again, refer to the guidelines for those specific word counts. Expectations. And then on that document, the rest of that document are a variety of questions that you can use in writing your paper. Now, you certainly don't have to answer all the questions. It's just some ideas and a flow to help you with your writing. for the first journal paper, there's always a guiding question for the journal paper. And for this first one, you're asked to reflect on your community partner and share what you've learned about your community partner so far and any first experiences that you've had with them. But by the time you get to writing this paper, you should have at least reached out to your community partner, met with them, had them sign that service learning contract, in the very least, reached out to them through an email to set up an appointment to get that signed. Many of you, though, should have a first service instance lined up at that point, and so you can write about that. But please do not, if you haven't gotten to the point where you have a first service instance yet, don't worry about that. This paper, you can write about that initial connection with getting that service learning contract signed, and then also what you've learned from your research about the community partner and from the community partner panel, which will have happened at that point, which is where you'll meet all of the community partners for the first time. So you will write the paper, and then the paper is to be submitted on Moodle Workshop by Thursday, February 1st at noon. And that is a hard deadline. You have to have the paper submitted by then, because the workshop will automatically stop accepting submissions and will switch to the evaluation phase. So after February 1st at noon, when you go into the Moodle Workshop, it'll probably look different because it won't be in the submission phase anymore. It'll be in the evaluation phase. And from what I understand, Moodle will automatically assign you 3 peer papers to evaluate using a rubric. It's the same rubric that is also posted on Moodle under course information, which I encourage everybody to look at when they're in their paper writing process, because that will tell you these are the points that I need to cover or in my paper in some way in order to get full points for that section. So that rubric is included in the evaluation phase, and that's what you, as now the peer evaluator, will be using to score the 3 papers that are assigned to you. And it's kind of like a click the radial button sort of thing on Rubric Grid online that you'll be doing to evaluate. And then there's also a feedback box at the end, where I ask you to give feedback on if you didn't give a paper full points in a certain area, to be specific about why you didn't give full points or how they lost points. And then also to offer some a general response to their reflection, just like a me talking to you sort of thing, and this is what I think about what you think about this. And then so those evaluations are to be completed by February 2nd at midnight. And then once you've completed the evaluations, then we go into we move out of Moodle Workshop, but then into our class online discussion, where as a classroom, then online we will be talking a little more about what we read in each other's papers. So make sure you look at the dates that and times that everything is to be due by. It's all on Moodle with the assignments, and also in the syllabus, the course schedule that is in the back. That's a really handy resource for knowing when things are due, so you can plan out in advance when you need to start working on things. Let's see, what else is there about reflection in this class? So this week, like I said, even though the topic for this week isn't reflection, we will be doing a reflection activity in your service group online discussion, and that'll it kind of follows the same sort of general outline format that that is recommended to be used in writing your journal papers. So it'll kind of give you a chance to experience that format a little more in a discussion context, at least, and then you'll be able to more easily apply that to writing the paper. I think that's it. I've hit about 15 minutes here. So if you have any questions about any of the expectations as far as online discussion, in class seminar discussions, since that is a graded component as well, or the journal papers, now is the time to get in touch with me. Please email me. I will. My response time is usually within 24 hours. I'm happy to answer your questions, refer you to resources that will give you answers, so that you're not caught off guard, and have plenty of time to prepare for these reflective activities. It's a big part of this class, and it's how this course is an agent for transformation in your life. That's where the work happens that will make you a different person than you were when this course started. So I hope you enjoy this work, and like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks, and have a great day.